followed by Don Byrne Ideal fourth, Wicked Idea fifth, Sailor Lobel and Stutz. They move through the half-mile pole. On top of the field is Maple Lane Scott by a full length. Westgate Fella up again to challenge for the lead. Heads apart at the half-mile. Westgate Fella and Donald Dancer take the lead in 1-2 flat. Around the clubhouse turn the final time. Westgate Fella now leads it by an open lane. Maple Lane Scott back to second. Columbia Pockets third. Don Byrne Ideal Park the outside fourth. Sailor Lobel is fifth. Wicked Idea the outside sixth. The trailers are Loganlea and Stutz. Down the back stretch the final time. With that lead, Westgate Fella closing rapidly on the outside is Wicked Idea. They're at the three-quarter pole. With the lead is Westgate Fella. On the outside is Wicked Idea. 3/4 and 1:34 flat. Around that final turn they go. Westgate Fella maintains the lead. On the outside is Wicked Idea right there to challenge for the lead. Moving to the far outside is Loganlea. Three of them come to the top of the stretch together. Westgate Fella, Wicked Idea, and Loganlea on the far outside. As they drive for the wire, three across the track. Wicked Idea, and on the outside, Loganlea in front. Under the wire, Loganlea, driven by Sandy Levy, picks up Wicked Idea, who had taken over the lead from Westgate Fella. And it's Loganlea, the winner, in 2 minutes, 5 2/5 seconds. Now back to Stan Bergstein for all the details.
Little celebration in West Sayville, New York, where Bob Lee owns Loganlea. This is the horse's first victory in 2 years. Sandy Levy is the driver, Tracy Levy is the trainer, and Loganlea as 2B pays $11.80, $4.60, and $2.80. 4D, Wicked Idea, $4, $2.80. 3C, Westgate Fella, $2.60 to show. Right now, Spencer Ross talks to Pat Crowe about Cam Fella. Spencer?
There are very few records left for Cam Fella to set or break, but Pat Crowe, the trainer-driver who joined us right here, has one to shoot for this Saturday night here at Roosevelt. 24 consecutive victories. Bret Hanover did that in a single season back in the early 60s. And Pat, 82 is a great year. 83 might be a better one, huh?
Yeah, it could be. If he wins races, it'll probably be the greatest.
Well, 23 in a row. And on Saturday night at Yonkers Raceway, an interesting race because Cam Fella went right to the front. And watch right here as Isfritz makes his move past the quarter, and he really zooms right by it. Were you worried, Mr. Crowe?
No, not really. He's a fast horse, and he's got that one great big move. And when he came, I couldn't have parked him if I wanted to. And he went right on by me, but I knew if I stayed close to him, that Cam would catch him.
Well, Camo certainly caught him. He's caught just about everybody. He's earned over $1 million this year. He's at 16 lifetime, 155 miles. He's broken just about all of Niatras's records. And if there was any doubt on Saturday night, well, Cam put it to rest down the backstretch as he just zoomed by its Fritz.
That's right. When I pulled him here, he went right on by him, and it wasn't much problem. And that kind of took care of its Fritz.
Well, kind of took care of its Fritz and took care of everybody else. And that's the way Cam Fella has been doing it throughout this 1983 season. And when 82 ended, Pat, you said the only thing bad about it is the year's over. You're going to be saying the same thing, aren't you, at come New Year's Eve this year?
Oh, yeah, definitely. The only thing I can say, I had the 2 years.
Some people have said there are times Cam will not break Niatras's record for a fastest mile. He is so human, so to speak, isn't he? He just goes and wins, doesn't he?
Yeah, he just likes to win. He doesn't go any faster than he has to.
Well, I don't think anybody likes winning more than this gentleman, Pat Crowe. That's becoming a patented thing of yours, right? Going back in the sulky and looking behind you and saying, I got you again, right?
That's right.
Okay, and it couldn't happen to a nicer man. Pat Crowe, the trainer-driver of Cam Fella. Unbelievable and unbeatable, and we'll find out if he can make it 24 in a row this Saturday night right here at Roosevelt Raceway. You get out and see it, and we'll get letter C, Wee Hop, the winner with Sandy Levy in the bike. The mile going in 2:06 and 1. The fifth race went to OTB letter B, Cool Rain Chris with Jim King Jr. in 2:04 and 3. Seventh race, OTB letter B, Loganlea with Sandy Levy in 2:05 and 2. So a big night for Sandy. In the eighth race, there was a late scratch when 7G Tough Hanover refused to come up to the daily double. 2B Loganlea taking the first part, combined with 1A Timboon Lord here in the 8th race, 75-40. 2B Happy Pick, 36-40. Sonny Patterson, the driver there. 3C Rocky Almahurst with Jocelyn Tremblay, 197.60. With 4D Cediac and Leo Bauer, 82.80. With number 5 OTB letter E, Seldom Seen, Jimmy Marone replacing Carmine Abatello, 62.80. With 6F, 4J Prince and Michelle Achant, 61.60. 7G, as we mentioned, Tough Hanover scratch, and we'll get a consolation double there with 8H, Rock on the Line, and John Copus, more than $1,100. Here's Jack.
They're all down the middle of the track. Seldom Seen for the lead. Up the rail is Timboon Lord from the outside. 4J Prince is on the move. Happy Pick along the inside. He gets away 4th. Rock Island Line on the outside 5th. Rocky Almahurst and Cediac off the first turn and down the back stretch they go. Timboon Lord shows the way by a full length. Seldom Seen racing second. On the outside is Rock Island Line third and going up. On the inside, that's 4J Prince, 4th, followed by Happy Pick 5th. The trail is Rocky Almahurst and Cediac. They're by the quarter pole. Timboon Lord leads it by an open length. Along the inside, Seldom Seen regains second. Rock Island Line parked outside third, the quarter in 30 and 4. Moving around the paddock turn the first time. On top is Timboon Lord by a full length. Seldom Seen is second. Up along the inside, 4J Prince is third. Rock Island Line on the outside 4th. They move to the half-mile pole. Timboon Lord has the lead by a full length. Seldom Seen is second on the outside. Rock Island Line battling 4J Prince for third position. Rocky Almahurst moves with cover up to take 5th. Happy Pick at the rail 6th. The trailer is Cediac the half-mile in 1, 3, and 3. Down the back stretch, the final time. Timboon Lord leads it by a little more than a length. Seldom Seen is second. 4J Prince to the outside third. Moving along the inside, Happy Pick is now 4th. They're up the three-quarter pole, and 4J Prince is rushed up on the outside. Now to challenge Timboon Lord for the lead. They are heads apart at the three-quarter pole on the inside. Is Seldom Seen, 3/4 in 1, 34 and 4. On the final turn they go. Timboon Lord leads it by a full length. 4J Prince on the outside is second. Seldom Seen at the rail third. Happy Pick moving on the outside 4th. They're at the top of the stretch. Timboon Lord has the lead by a full length. 4J Prince out in the middle of the track. Seldom Seen looking for racing room as they come for the wire. That's 4J Prince and Michael Shantz to win it all. Under the wire, 4J Prince, driven by Michael Shantz, wears down the pace setter, Timboon Lord, to win the 8th race, going away a mile in 2, 4, and 4. And now back to Stan Bergstein for the official results.
6F, 4J Prince, 1120, 480, 260. 2B Happy Pick, 340, 240. 1A Timboon Lord, $3 to show. The 6-2 FB Exacta, 3160. There was a consolation late double. The late scratch of Tough Hanover set up a 2-7 BG. A consolation double of 1020. The regular late double of 2 and 6. That's B&F, Loganlea and 4J Prince, 6160. On the Pick 4 CBB All, 150.90. Spencer?
Okay, so that does it for this Thursday night. Remember, we'll be with you Saturday night. We've got Campfella, and Saturday and Sunday at Yonkers Raceway, the Old Glory Sale. You hop over there. See you Saturday.
We'll bring you the 5th race exacta. The 7th race, marking the return of the pacing machine, Campfella, in the first half of the late daily double, and the 8th race exacta, which is the second half of the late daily double and the finale to the OTB Pick 4. Good evening, Stan Bergstein here with Spencer Ross, Jackie Lee, the race caller, and once again we have the electric excitement generated by a charismatic horse, Campfella, Horse of the Year, and going for that honor for the second time.
And the track record holder here. But last night at Roosevelt Raceway, we had excitement indeed as a candidate for 3-year-old filly honors. Turned the tide, made it look easy in winning the Lady Maud. Sticks and Scones, an early season favorite here, was second coming into the stretch, but did not have enough to hold on for the place position as Enterprising came up to take second, but it was all Turn the Tide in a very impressive victory. Speaking of impressive, we've got Campfella tonight, Stanley.
Campfella, who has won over $1 million this year and has become the first older pacer ever to do that, is also approaching $2 million. Here he is in his paddock in Canada with his companion, the Playmate, the German Shepherd, and watch Cam Fella take a look at him as the dog closes in. They're only playing, but he lets the dog know with a little rear end action that he can do damage if he chooses. Tonight, he will see what damage he can do to a field of the best contenders in America as he tries to go after the $2 million lifetime earnings mark of Rambling Willie and Niatros, and as he tries to win his 24th in a row to equal Bret Hanover's record. We'll see how he does.
It should be exciting indeed. We're looking forward to it. Cam fell a little bit later. Right now, let's take a look at tonight's third race big triple. We've got 4- and 5-year-olds going at it in this third race. 1A, Sonora Bob, Mike Forte. 2B, Not Guilty, Rajon Daniel. 3C, Kiowa Almahurst, Joe Marsh. 4D, Anchor John, Bill O'Donnell. 5E, Locust Keith, Michelle Ashant. 6F, Adventuras Eagle, Frank Tagarella. 7G, Gay Peter N with Joe Ricco replacing Sal Sparacino. And 8H, Precocious Guy with Lucien Fontaine. And here is Jack.
They're off. Not Guilty is off stride before the start. Out in the middle of the track, Kiowa Almahurst at the rail. Sonora Bob from the outside, moving for the lead. Around the first turn and down the back stretch, that's Kiowa Almahurst now with the lead. Second is Sonora Bob, followed by Locust Keith racing third. It's 2 back to Anchor John fourth. Adventuras Eagle is fifth, followed by Gay Peter N sixth. Precocious Guy seventh. And the trailer by 6 and pacing is Not Guilty. They're at the quarter pole. Showing the way is Kiowa Almahurst by a length and a half. Sonora Bob right there second. The quarter mile in 29 and 2. Around the paddock turn they go. Kiowa Almahurst leads it by an open length. Sonora Bob is second, followed by Locust Keith third. That's Anchor John fourth. Through the stretch approaching the half-mile pole, Kiowa Almahurst maintains a length and a half lead. Sonora Bob right there second. Locust Keith is third. Anchor John tips to the outside fourth. Adventurous Eagle is fifth. Gay Peter N sixth. Precocious Guy is seventh, and Not Guilty can see them all. Half mile 1, 1 and 4. Down the back stretch, the final time. Kiowa Almahurst cuts it out by an open length. Sonora Bob is second to the outside. Bill O'Donnell on the move with Anchor John. Midway the back stretch, final time. Kiowa Almahurst increases the lead to 2 lengths. Anchor John up to challenge Sonora Bob for second. They're at the three-quarter pole. It's Kiowa Almahurst by 2.5 3/4 in 1:32 and 2. Around the final turn, Kiowa Almahurst shows the way. Sonora Bob, Anchor John battle heads apart for second. Adventurous Eagle on the outside is now fourth. Locust Keith at the rail drops back to fifth. They're at the top of the stretch. It's Kiowa Almahurst showing the way. Sonora Bob second. Anchor John as they straighten out. Come for the wire. Kiowa Almahurst shows the way by a little more than length. Sonora Bob on the outside. Kiowa Almahurst and Sonora Bob. We've got a tight one here on the inside. Kiowa Almahurst on the outside. Sonora Bob. They are going to be a photograph to separate these two right on the wire. 1 mile and 2 minutes, 3 2/5 seconds. Stan Bergstein has the official results.
Which shows that Sonora Bob did get up right at the wire for Michael Forte, his trainer and driver, and for owners D. Linker, M. de Toronto, and B. Kleinberg of New York. Sonora Bob as 1A pays $5.40, $3.80, and $3. 3C, Kiowa Almahurst, $4 and $2.80, and 7G, Gay Peter N, pays $4.40 to show, which comprises a 137 or ACG triple worth $105. When we return to Roosevelt Raceway, we will talk to a lady who's trying to shake things up here, and we'll show you the 5th race exacta right after this. Thursday night, here at Roosevelt Raceway, the Battle of Albany with Senators Andrew Jenkins, George Honorado, and Jeremy Weinstein, and Assembly members Armand D'Amato, John Duane, and Helene Weinstein. And with me right now is Assemblywoman Helene Weinstein of Brooklyn. I make it a policy never to discuss feminist politics, but I understand and see, obviously, that you are the only lady in the field. Have you been working at this?
I've been training very hard. Lou Miller at the OTB school and Joanne Forrester have been helping me along, and I'm looking forward to next Thursday night.
Have you had experience with horses before?
Never driving. When I was a little girl, I used to ride a little bit, but it's a very different experience, and it's interesting tonight seeing what's going on. I'm hoping we'll have a good night next Thursday.
The Battle of Albany on Thursday night, and you've just met my choice in that contest. We'll see what kind of a handicapper I am. Right now, however, we'll see who's going to win this evening's 5th race. 1A is Shy Guy. 2B is Hail the Leader. 3C in this race is Poplar Larry. Pat Crowe, who later drive Cam Fella, is driving Poplar Larry. 4D is Bret Hanover. 5E Strike LaRue. 6F Blizzard Almahurst. 7G is Majestic Fella. And 8H is Time and Nick. And here is Jackie Lee with the call. Jack?
They're off out of the middle of the track. Bret Hanover goes for the lead with Poplar Larry alongside, and up the rail is Shy Guy. Around the first turn and down the backstretch, Shy Guy has the lead by a full length. Poplar Larry moves up and tucks in second. Bret Hanover parked on the outside with Bill O'Donnell is third and on the move up. They approach the quarter pole. On the outside, Bret Hanover has moved to challenge and take the lead from Shy Guy. Racing third is Poplar Larry, followed by Hail the Leader fourth. That's Strike LaRue fifth. The trailers Blizzard Almahurst, Majestic Fella, Time on Nick the quarter, 29 and 4. Around the paddock turn they go. Bret Hanover and Bill O'Donnell lead it by a length. Shy Guy is second. It's a length back to Poplar Larry third. Hail the Leader fourth. They move to the top of the stretch the first time. Bret Hanover in command by an open length. Shy Guy racing second. Moving up on the outside. Third now is Hail the Leader. At the rail, Poplar Larry back fourth. Strike LaRue has cover on the outside fifth. At the rail, Majestic Fella sixth. Blizzard Almahurst outside seventh. Time and Nick trails the field. The half mile in 1, 2, and 4. Around the clubhouse turn the final time. Bret Hanover shows the way by a little more than a length. On the outside, Hail the Leader is now second up the rail. Shy Guy back to third. Moving up on the far outside with a big kick is Blizzard Almahurst. They approach the three-quarter pole. Bret Hanover leads it out in the middle of the track is Hail the Leader, Blizzard Almahurst on the far outside. 3/4 on the board, 1:33 and 1. Around the final turn they go. Bret Hanover has the lead. Hail the Leader second on the inside now. Shy Guy regains third. Blizzard Almahurst parked outside fourth. Strike LaRue to the far outside fifth. They wheel to the top of the stretch. Bret Hanover, Bill O'Donnell by 2. Along the inside, it's Hail the Leader as they straighten out and come for the wire. Bret Hanover, Billy O'Donnell are going to win it all. Bret Hanover in front. Under the wire, Bret Hanover, an easy winner. Strike LaRue moving on the outside. He's going to be second. We've got a photo for show. And now back to Spencer Ross.
The Magic Man, Bill O'Donnell, 2:02 and 4, time for the mile with number 4, OTB letter D. Bret Hanover, Apples Thomas, trains this 3-year-old son of Albatross for Leon Matches. And Howard Caskell of New York as 4D. Bret Hanover returns, $4.40, $3, $2.60, 5E. Strike LaRue second, $4.20 and $3.20, and 2B. Hail the Leader third, $3.60. O'Donnell's second victory of the night. Exacta 4 and 5. D and E returns $14.80. And when we get back to Roosevelt Raceway, Mr. Bergstein has answers to your questions.
First picture known of a harness horse, the first photograph, 1866, and it is the great champion Dexter with his driver Bud Doble, who also later drove Goldsmith Maid and Nancy Hanks. And here is the first photograph ever taken known of a photo finish. This is an 1886 race, the Charter Oak Stakes at Hartford, Belle F on the outside beating Oliver Kay. The second winner is Kevin Roosin of Jamaica, New York. Will Cam Fella always remain a ridgeling? Will he ever be able to go to stud? Or is being a ridgeling really the same thing as a gelding and unable to stand at stud? No, it is not the same thing as being a gelding. He not only will be able to go to stud, but is going to do so at the end of this season. And in 1984, will stand his first season at stud in New Jersey at Jeff's Country Club, Standardbred Country Club. There is a little bit of dispute as to what a ridgeling really is. The general terminology is that it's a horse with one testicle descended, one undescended, and he can breed successfully mares. John Patton of Elizabeth, New Jersey, a purist, says that is not true. He says a ridgeling has 2 undeveloped testes and cannot breed. He says that what Cam Fella is really a false monorchid. We will let Mr. Patton and the other purists fight that out. Ridgelings generally are regarded as what Cam Fella is, and they can breed. That is tonight's question and answer session, and those are our winners. And we will be back with the 7th race coming up, the Bret Hanover Pace and Cam Fella, right after this. For the $50,000 Bret Hanover Pace, named for the great 3-time Horse of the Year of the mid-1960s, who had 24 in a row as a 2-year-old, and Cam Fella is shooting to equal that record tonight. 1A is Whiteys Fella, 2B is Sokys Adam, 3C is Miller's Scout. 4D is the great Cam Fella, 5E is Armbro Aussie, 6F is Doc's Fella, and Jackie Lee picks up the mic for the call of the Bret Hanover. Here is Jack.
On gate. They're off along the inside. Whitey's Fella for the lead with Miller's Scout. Moving along the inside, Sokys Adam. Cam Fella moves away fourth. Armbro Aussie and Doc's Fella. Around the first turn and down the back stretch, Whitey's Fella, Ray Jean Daniel lead it by a little more than a length. Miller's Scout moves up to take second up the rail. Sokys Adam racing third. Cam Fella on the move for Pat Crowe, fourth and going up. They're up the quarter pole. With that lead is Whitey's Fella on the outside. Cam Fella parked out second up the rail. Miller's Scout third, the quarter mile in 28 seconds even. Around the paddock turn they go. Cam Fella moves for the lead up the rail. Whitey's Fella back to second. Miller's Scout racing third, followed by Sokys Adam. Armbro Aussie, and the trailer is Doc's Fella. They head in the stretch the first time. Cam Fella shows the way for Pat Crowe by a little more than a length. Whitey's Fella racing second, a length back to Miller's Scout third. They reach the half-mile pole. It's Cam Fella by a length and a half. The half-mile in 58 3. Around the clubhouse turn they go. Cam Fella shows the way by an open length. That's Whitey's Fella racing second, Miller's Scout third along the inside, Sokys Adam fourth. Armbro Aussie swings up fifth. The trailer now is Doc's Fella. They head down the back stretch the final time. Cam Fella leads it by an open length. Along the inside, Whitey's Fella second, Miller's Scout moving on the outside, a close at third. Armbro Aussie picks up cover fourth. They're up the three-quarter pole in 1:28 4. Around the final turn they go. Cam Fella shows the way by a length and a half. Miller's Scout edging up on the outside up the rail. Whitey's Fella, they are heads apart for second position. It's Cam Fella's race at the top of the stretch. He's got a length and a half turning home as he looks for his 24th straight victory. It's Cam Fella showing the way to this field by 2 lengths. They're not going to catch Cam Fella, his 24th straight victory of the year. Under the wire, Cam Fella an easy victor in 1:58 flat. Armbro Aussie ranging up to be second. And that's all the story here. It's all Cam Fella now back to Stan Bergstein.
What a magnificent, superb champion he is. Taking his earnings to $1,928,000. Pat Crowe gives him 2 easy middle quarters. He wins it in 1:58, pays $220, win betting only. Armbro Aussie was second. Sokys Adam was third here in the Bret Hanover. And Cam Fella has equaled Bret Hanover's win streak of 24 in a row. Here is Spencer Ross with Pat Crowe.
Amidst all the accolades for one Cam Fella, there is something I feel that has been omitted. Almost a sacrilege to compare this great horse with one Niatros. And I have to wonder why, because what this horse has done has to rank up there with what the greatest of all time did, Niatros. It is now 24 in a row, and Pat Crowe tonight, when you got the best, you act like the best, right? You didn't want that tuck in the 4-hole. You wanted to go right at the front.
No, yeah, I'll be in front. I want to keep out of trouble.
You kept out of trouble. You went to the quarter. It was a very quick quarter, 28 seconds, 58 3 for the half, and you were just looking behind you all the way. As we'll take a look at just what happened tonight past the 3-quarter. You began to get a bit of a challenge in the outside from Miller's Scout, and Armbro Aussie began to close, but I don't know how many times I've said this to you. You weren't worried, were you?
No, I wasn't worried. I just wanted to keep them close, and, you know, he got next week again, so I hope he's as good next week, eh?
He's got next week where he's going to go for 25 in a row, and look at him coming the stretch. I mean, this is a picture performance by a picture-perfect horse, and you just can't ask any more for him. What he's done throughout the year, particularly the geographical workout he has had throughout the season, and he just comes through it unscathed, right?
Oh, yeah, he seems to be good now as he's been all year.
Nothing seems to bother this horse. And down in the winner's circle just now, there were about 100 people down there, unperturbed.
Yeah, he's used to it.
Okay, but one man over here is very excited, maybe a little more excited than the horse, because this has to be a once-in-a-lifetime feeling, because Pat Crowe has the greatest of the year, and a great who might have to be compared with the all-time great One Niatros, because he just wins them all. Congratulations, Pat.
Thank you.
Pat Crowe, the trainer and driver of the great Cam Fella. Another victory, and we'll get back with tonight's 8th race, the finale.